In October 2015, a quiet and unassuming woman named Melanie Rhodes walked into the Willow Creek Police Department in northern Idaho with trembling hands and a terrified look in her eyes. She claimed she was being followed, that someone had been watching her for weeks. She didn't have proof, no license plate, no clear photos, not even a name. Just an overwhelming sense that something was about to happen to her. The officer on duty, already overwhelmed with local property crimes and domestic disputes, took her statement but didn't file an official report. Melanie walked out of the station, pausing at the door, almost as if she was waiting for someone to stop her. No one did. 3 weeks later, she vanished. Melanie was 33 years old, a school librarian known for her quiet demeanor and clockwork routine. Every morning, she left her apartment at 7:15, walked to the coffee shop on 5th Street, and arrived at work by 7:45. She lived alone, had no criminal record, and wasn't involved with drugs or anything remotely suspicious. But when her landlord called the police to report she hadn't paid her rent or answered any messages, her apartment was entered. What they found chilled investigators. The apartment was immaculate, almost too clean. No dishes in the sink, no laundry in the hamper. Her toothbrush was dry, her bed made perfectly. It looked less like someone had left in a hurry and more like someone had made it look like she never lived there at all. There are no signs of forced entry, no struggle, and no blood. But her phone and laptop were gone. Her wallet and keys were still there. There were receipts in the trash, showing her usual routine up until the day she disappeared. But then came the first anomaly. A security camera 2 blocks from her building caught Melanie walking in the opposite direction from her usual route on the morning she vanished. Instead of heading to the coffee shop or her job, she was walking north toward the industrial part of town. And she wasn't alone. A man in a black coat and sunglasses was walking a few paces behind her. Police enhanced the footage, but the image was too grainy. No identification could be made. Melanie's sister, Rachel, flew in from Seattle and told detectives something that changed the direction of the case. According to Rachel, Melanie had confided in her 6 months earlier that she believed someone from her past was back in her life. Someone who wasn't supposed to be. Melanie had testified in a criminal trial 8 years earlier, but the records of that case were sealed. Rachel didn't know who it was against, only that Melanie was a key witness and was placed under temporary protection for several weeks. Digging into old court records, detectives finally uncovered the sealed case. In 2007, Melanie had testified against a man named Cole Barrett, a small-time contractor accused of sexual assault and attempted kidnapping. Barrett pled out to a lesser charge and served only 3 years in a medium-security prison. He was released in 2011 and disappeared off the grid. Melanie had changed cities, jobs, and even her last name after the case. Her original name was Melanie Crest. As police scrambled to find Barrett, another strange clue surfaced. A local bus driver came forward after seeing Melanie's missing person flyer. She claimed she remembered seeing Melanie that morning, sitting at the back of her bus, staring blankly out the window. She said Melanie looked pale, nervous, and had a bruised cheek. She was accompanied by a man who never let her out of arm's reach. The bus was headed toward an abandoned lumber mill on the edge of town, shut down years ago after a fire. Police descended on the mill and found signs someone had been living there recently. Cigarette butts, a sleeping bag, and food wrappers were scattered around a back office. In one drawer, they found an old photo of Melanie, her original ID photo from before her name change. Written across the top in red ink were the words, "You thought you could forget." No fingerprints, no DNA match. Whoever had been there was gone. Then came a break no one expected. A man named Simon Grady, who had been arrested in a domestic dispute 3 counties over, was flagged during booking because his fingerprints matched someone from a cold case file. Not Cole Barrett, but someone else entirely. Simon Grady was actually Cole Barrett's cousin and had a long rap sheet of impersonation, fraud, and assault. Grady confessed to impersonating Cole on multiple occasions, including during Barrett's trial. The real Cole Barrett, he claimed, had never been arrested. He had used Simon to take the fall. The plea deal, the jail time, all of it had been a smokescreen to make it look like Cole had faced justice. But Cole had vanished, intentionally. And now he was back. The twist unraveled slowly. Melanie, it turned out, had never testified against the man who assaulted her. She had testified against his stand-in. The real Cole Barrett had watched from the sidelines and slipped away into obscurity. Until 2015, investigators now believe Barrett had been tracking Melanie for months, waiting for the right moment. Simon's confession led them to a remote cabin in the forest, a property under an alias that Simon and Cole had used for years. There, they found Melanie's belongings, clothes, journals, and a broken phone. They also found a charred area in the woods nearby, with remnants of burned clothing and what appeared to be bones. But DNA tests revealed something that no one was prepared for. The bones weren't Melanie's. They belonged to Simon Grady, the man who had taken the fall and possibly tried to stop Cole. Melanie, according to new evidence, had escaped. A page from her journal was recovered, hidden in the baseboards of the cabin. It read simply, "He thinks I'm dead. Let him believe it." To this day, Melanie Rhodes, formerly Melanie Crest, has never been found. No body, no definitive sightings. But every so often, reports come in from towns across the Pacific Northwest. A woman, mid-30s, quiet, with deep eyes and a scar on her cheek. Always alone. Always gone before she can be questioned. The official case remains open, but the working theory among those closest to the investigation is chilling. Melanie didn't vanish. She went underground. She knew the only way to survive was to let the world think she was dead. And she played the ultimate long game, vanishing into a world where no one could follow. Like, subscribe, and share. Follow for more crime stories.